Hello, and welcome to the Monster Painter. This week, it's all about the old school miniatures Secret Santa. For my part of the Secret Santa, I am sending out the legendary multi-part Rawl Partha kit Riding the Cold Wind to Valhalla, sculpted by the master Dave Summers and released in 1992. It includes a dragon, some dwarves, baskets, and crossbows. The recipient, a fellow named Tim, asked for something quirky, unusual, old, and metal, and this is definitely the quirkiest and most unusual thing in my collection. That being said, I hope he's good at assembling, because this thing is a tricky build, and I may have rather cruelly sent him a huge headache. But once it is put together, it is a magnificent miniature, unlike anything else, and really more of a shelf piece than a game piece. But it is going to be a beautiful thing. So I really hope that Tim enjoys this big, fantastic thing. And there is the box just before I ship it out. And here is my box of excitement, sent to me by Tim. The same Tim I mailed the Riding a Cold Wind to Valhalla to. Interestingly, he is from my old hometown of Edmonton, Alberta, a place with a lot of experience with cold winds. I asked for monsters, being the monster painter after all, and I have to say Tim was spectacularly generous, sending me all manner of twisted horrors of the imagination. I cannot thank him enough for this box of old metal fun. I'm absolutely thrilled with the contents, and there are a lot of contents. He was extremely generous. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Secret Santa is, it's a kind of a blind gift exchange. The one I do at work is done by putting all of our co-workers' names in a hat. Everyone draws a name, and you buy that person a small gift. That way everybody gets a prezi, and nobody is left out. In this case, the Secret Santa is done through the Old School Miniatures Facebook group. An excellent place and a must-join group if you're interested in these kind of old-time miniatures. It was organized by Frank Weaver and coordinated with the generous time of a lady named Lizanne. So a big thank you to Frank and Lizanne for doing all of this, and I have to say you're both super cool. Big thumbs up from this cowboy. And my God, look at this box. It just never seems to end. All these really cool old miniatures. I mean, a hot jug and everything. I mean, I love this kind of stuff. And once again, Tim was fantastically generous. I cannot say thank you enough, because this was a super cool box of stuff. So what do we get? A little Cerberus by Grenadier and a couple of wolves. 2 mounted villains, one riding a dinosaur. 2 Umber Hulks, one Rawl Partha, the other Grenadier, and a weird goopy guy. A Rawl Partha bird snake thing, a Rawl Partha Otyug, and an old Naga of some sort. A Reaper Swamp Thing, a Grenadier Man Thing, and a nasty guy with a rock. An evil-looking merman, an air elemental made of lead, and a Rawl Partha genie, some kind of old hammered demon with a slot of base, and a classic demon, and a classic Balrog. 3 things so weird I have no words to describe them. A demon carrying off a girl, a minotaur, and some kind of crab man. 2 Reaper slimes, and a vintage pudding. A little Triceratops, maybe a juvenile, possibly a Chasmosaurus belli, and finally a Reaper Sophie. How very appropriate. If that weren't enough, Tim also sent me this lovely card, a beautiful thought, and included a message particularly warning me not to open this before Christmas, or facing the wrath of that most dreadful and Christmassy of all monsters, the Krampus. Well, I have to say thank you so much, Tim. You are a true gentleman. This was a wonderful, wonderful gift. And now, let's see if I can get any of these bad boys painted before I have to publish the video. Man-Thing and Swamp-Thing. I adore those old comic books. These Reaper Slimes, I quite like the sculpts, and they're going to be very handy. Sometimes in D&D, you eat the pudding, sometimes the pudding eats you. A couple of black dogs going to be handy for the bestiary of Silver Bayonet. Umber Hulks, I think the green one looks way more sci-fi. Red Devils, full of mirth and menace, just the way I like them. A very friendly Otyugh and her prawn coworker. A couple of goons, the kind the evil overlord hires. A couple of jerks looking ready to fight Gandalf himself. And finally, a soft demon and a heavy whirlwind. Next week on The Monster Painter. Ender toys, boulders, and walls. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.